What's up, Broncos Country? Take a deep breath because what I'm about to tell you could completely change how you see this season for our Denver Broncos. After that win against the Raiders on Thursday, everyone breathed a sigh of relief, right? 8 wins, 2 losses, best record in years. But hold on there, family, because there's something much bigger at stake here. Something that could define whether we're going to watch our team make a historic playoff run or see another mediocre season that ends too quickly. And the next opponent? You already know who it is. The damn Chiefs. And this matchup, my friends, is going to reveal the true face of this orange and blue team we love so much. Stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm going to show you exactly why this game against Kansas City isn't just another divisional matchup. It's the trial by fire that's going to separate the pretenders from the real contenders. And if you're Denver Broncos family through and through, you need to understand every detail of what's at stake here. Look, I'm going to be real straight with you. That win against the Raiders on Thursday was important? Of course it was. Divisional win. We kept the momentum. We got to 8-2 for the first time in almost a decade. But if you watched that game with your eyes wide open, you saw what I saw. And what I saw wasn't necessarily pretty, wasn't dominant, wasn't the type of performance that makes you look at your team and think, yes, this team is going far in the playoffs. You know that weird feeling after a win? That feeling that we won, but we could have played so much better? That was exactly it. And this hasn't just been happening recently. It seems like in practically every game this season, our Broncos take 3 whole quarters to wake up, to find the rhythm, to really play at the level we know they can play. And look, family, it's worked so far. 8 wins prove that. But there's a huge catch. This isn't going to work against everyone, and it definitely won't work against the Chiefs. You can't start slow against Kansas City. You can't wait until the 4th quarter to wake up against Patrick Mahomes. You can't let promising drives die because of silly penalties or balls that hit the ground when they should be in our receivers' hands. Let's talk about what really matters here. Let's talk about what this team does well, because believe me, there's a lot that's good. J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey are yard-gaining machines on the ground when they get the ball. These guys are like tractors clearing the way, destroying defenses, moving the chains, keeping our offense on track. The problem? They need to get the ball more frequently, more consistently, especially in crucial moments of the game. And Bo Nix, my friend, this kid has shown flashes of pure brilliance. There are plays where you look at him and think, this is our quarterback of the future. Quick decisions, accurate arm, courage in the pocket. But we need these moments of brilliance to become the rule, not the exception. We need Bo to find that consistency from the first to the last snap of the game. Now, want to talk about something that really works? The defense. My God in heaven, this defense. There's no way not to love every man on that defensive unit. They've been the backbone of this team, the reason we are where we are. While the offense sometimes stumbles, the defense is there, carrying the team on their backs, making monumental stops, creating turnovers, keeping games competitive when they could be slipping away. This Denver Broncos defense is real, people. It's legit. It's the kind that can compete with any offense in the league, including the Chiefs. But even the best defense in the world needs help. Defense to sustain drives, to control the clock, to put points on the board. Because you can't ask the defense to carry the team alone for 17 regular season games and then through the playoffs. And this is where it gets serious. Broncos Country. This is where we need to have a frank conversation about the moment we're living in. Head coach Sean Payton, a guy who won a Super Bowl, who knows exactly what a championship team looks like, spoke without mincing words. This Broncos team has Super Bowl quality. Let that sink into your head for a second. A championship coach looked at our roster and said, we have what it takes, but between having quality and realizing potential, there's a huge gap. There's a path to be traveled. And that path has 2 possible directions. One direction is all too familiar to Denver Broncos fans. It's that road we already know well. That leads to mediocrity, to missed playoffs, to early eliminations, to seasons that promise but don't deliver. How many times in recent years have we seen our team start well, only to crumble when it mattered most? The other direction? That's the one that makes your heart beat faster. It's the path that leads to a memorable campaign, to a deep playoff run, to a team that makes the rest of the league respect the orange and blue again. It's the path that transforms this roster into legend, that puts these players in the franchise record books, that gives Denver Broncos fans something they've been waiting for years, a truly competitive team. But here's the crucial detail. The team needs to choose which path to follow, and that choice starts now. It starts against the Chiefs. Let's be honest about the game against the Raiders. It was adequate. It was enough. We got the divisional win. We did what needed to be done. But adequate doesn't win playoff games. Adequate doesn't scare real opponents. Adequate doesn't make you a team that people fear facing. If the Broncos play against Kansas City the way they played against Las Vegas, you know what's going to happen. The Chiefs are going to do what they always do. They're going to capitalize on every mistake. They're going to punish every silly penalty. They're going to turn every dropped ball into an opportunity. Mahomes is going to dissect our defense if you give him time and space to work. So what needs to happen? I'll tell you exactly what needs to change. First, the play calling needs to be sharp from the first snap. No starting conservative, no testing the waters. We need to impose our game from the start, establish the run, make Bo feel comfortable in the rhythm of the game, attack the weaknesses of the Chiefs' defense without mercy. Second, the stupid penalties need to stop. Simple as that. We're in the 10th week of the season. These guys are professionals. They've been playing football since they were kids. There's no excuse for false starts, for silly holding penalties, for 12 men on the field. Every penalty that kills a drive is a gift to the opponent. And you don't give gifts to the Chiefs. Third, for the love of everything, we need to hold on to the ball. The dropped balls that have been haunting this team throughout the season can't happen against Kansas City. Our receivers need to make the catches that are expected of them. Bo's going to put the ball where it needs to be. The guys just need to hold on. Fourth, alignment. It seems too basic to mention, but it's been a problem. Professional players need to know where to line up before the snap. You can't lose a timeout because of formation confusion. You can't give the opponent extra time to adjust their defense because our offense can't line up properly. Look, family, the problems our Broncos overcame early in the season were masked by the wins. And that's fine because a win is a win. But now, entering the second half of the season, facing increasingly difficult opponents, these problems can come back to haunt us. They can be the difference between a special season and another forgettable season. And here's the truth nobody wants to hear, but everyone needs to accept. The effort shown against the Raiders simply isn't going to win many games from here on out. The schedule gets harder. The opponents get more prepared. Mistakes are punished more severely. There's no more room to play below potential and still come out with the win. The Chiefs know this. They know exactly what it's like to play playoff football in November. They live this every year. While other teams are still trying to find their identity this time of year, Kansas City is already operating in playoff mode, already refining their game for January and February. And that's why this matchup is so crucial. It's not just about the final score. It's about sending a message. It's about showing the rest of the league that the Denver Broncos are no longer that team you can intimidate, that you can dominate, that you can easily push aside. It's about proving that when Sean Payton said we have Super Bowl quality, he wasn't exaggerating. Tell me, Broncos Country, do you feel this too? This feeling that we're at a turning point? That everything we've built up to now can lead to something special or can crumble, depending on how we respond to the challenges ahead. Because I feel it, and I know you feel it too. We've waited so long for a competitive team. Years and years watching mediocre seasons, seeing other franchises shine while we fell behind, turning up our noses at draft picks that didn't work out, at quarterbacks who weren't the answer, at defenses that couldn't stop anyone. But this year is different. There's something different in the air. 8 wins in 10 games isn't luck. It's not an accident. It's talent. It's coaching. It's execution. But talent only takes you so far. There comes a time when you need to prove you can beat the big guys, that you can play toe-to-toe with the best, and the Chiefs. They're the standard. They're the team you need to beat if you want to be taken seriously. There's no point in dominating weak teams if you can't compete with the champions. And Kansas City has been the king of our division for too long. It's past time someone dethroned them. Why not us? If you're Broncos Country for real, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any play of this incredible season. Hit that bell because the next games are going to define our destiny. Think with me. We have the talent. J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey in the run game. Bo Nix showing he can be the guy. A defense that plays with attitude, with aggression, with that mentality of not giving anything away for free. We have a championship coach who knows exactly what it takes to win it all. The pieces are in place. Now it's a matter of putting it all together. It's a matter of playing 60 complete minutes of high-level football. Not 45, not just the fourth quarter. 60 minutes of maximum intensity, of perfect execution. A football that makes people stop to watch and think, damn, this Broncos team is for real. Because that's what separates good teams from great teams. Good teams win when they're playing well. Great teams find ways to win, even when they're not having their best day. Great teams impose their will on the opponent from the first to the last snap. Great teams don't give chances, and you know what? I believe this Broncos team can be a great team. Not because I'm blindly optimistic, not because I root with my heart and ignore reality, but because I see the ingredients, I see the foundation. I see players with elite talent at key positions. I see a coach who doesn't accept mediocrity. I see a culture being built, but believing isn't enough. You can believe until you can't anymore, but if the team doesn't execute on the field, it won't matter. The players need to believe in themselves. They need to believe in each other. They need to look at the Chiefs on the other side of the field and not feel intimidation, but opportunity, because that's what this game represents. Opportunity. Opportunity to make a statement. Opportunity to prove we belong in the conversation of the best teams in the conference. Opportunity to show that the Chiefs' dynasty in our division is coming to an end. Nobody's saying it's going to be easy. Kansas City didn't become the team they are by accident. They have experience, they have talent, they have a quarterback who's seen everything and done everything. Mahomes in big games is a beast. Their defense knows how to win tight games. Their coach has more Super Bowl rings than most franchises. But so what? Does that mean we should be afraid? That we should accept defeat before we even play? No way. It means we need to be at our best. It means we need to execute the game plan perfectly. It means there's no room for the mistakes that have been haunting us. The truth is, the Chiefs are human too. They lose games. They make mistakes. And if you put pressure on them, if you don't give Mahomes time to think, if you control the clock with an efficient running game, if you don't give away turnovers and penalties for free, you can beat them. Our defense is good enough to stop their offense. I have no doubt about that. The question is, will our offense show up? Will it sustain long drives that keep the defense rested and the clock running? Will it convert crucial third downs? Will it score touchdowns when it gets to the red zone instead of settling for field goals? These are the questions that need to be answered. And they're going to be answered on the field, not here. The players are going to decide which narrative gets written. They're going to choose if they want to be just another good team that couldn't take the next step, or if they want to be the team that finally broke through the barrier. And look, I understand the fans' frustration. I understand because after so many years of mediocrity, of unfulfilled promises, of seasons that start with hope and end in disappointment, we're hesitant to believe too much. We don't want to delude ourselves only to get hurt again, but this is the moment to risk believing. This is the moment to support our team with everything we have. Because if we don't believe, who will? If the Denver Broncos family isn't behind this team, who will be? The players are going to feel that energy. They're going to feel the fans vibrating, believing, pushing them forward. And in big games like this against the Chiefs, that extra energy can be the difference. It can be what gives the linebacker courage to make that crucial tackle, the quarterback to make that tight throw, the receiver to make that difficult catch. So here's my challenge to you, Broncos Country. Let's do our part. Let's pack the stadium with orange and blue. Let's make so much noise that Mahomes can't even think. Let's give our team the energy they need to win this game, because the time has come. Enough accepting second place in the division. Enough watching the Chiefs dominate year after year while we just watch. The time has come for the Denver Broncos to get back on top. The time has come to remind the rest of the league why this franchise has 3 Super Bowl trophies, why this franchise has one of the most passionate fan bases in the sport, and it all starts with beating the Chiefs. It all starts with showing we're not afraid, that we're not backing down, that we're going to fight for every yard, for every down, for every point, like our lives depend on it. This is the game that defines seasons. This is the kind of win that transforms good teams into great teams. This is the moment that years later we're going to look back and say, that's where everything changed. That's where the Denver Broncos became the Denver Broncos again. The players know what's at stake. Sean Payton knows what's at stake. And now you know too. It's not just another divisional game. It's the game that's going to reveal who we really are. It's the game that's going to show if all those words about Super Bowl quality are real or just talk. I believe we're capable. I believe we have the players, we have the coach, we have the scheme. We just need to execute. We need to eliminate the silly mistakes. We need to play with discipline. We need to play with intelligence. And most important of all, we need to play with that fire in our hearts that makes great teams great. Because at the end of the day, talent only takes you so far. Scheme only takes you so far. What really separates winners from losers is the will. It's wanting it more than the opponent. It's being willing to give everything you have on every play. It's not accepting anything less than excellence. And if there's one thing I know about Broncos Country, it's that we don't accept mediocrity. We don't settle for almost. We want greatness. We want championships. We want to see our team on top of the mountain again. This team has the potential to take us there. But potential means nothing if it's not realized. And the time to start realizing that potential is now. It's against the Chiefs. It's showing the whole world that the Denver Broncos are back. So get your heart ready. Family, because here comes a game that's going to make us jump off the couch. Yell at the TV, feel every play like we're on the field. Here comes the chance to see our team take a giant step toward what we all dream of. And when the ref blows the final whistle, when the dust settles, I want everyone who doubts us to have their mouths shut. I want the Chiefs to know they're not going to waltz through our division anymore. I want the rest of the league to know there's a new contender for the title. Because this is our time. This is our season. And nothing, absolutely nothing, is going to stop us achieving what we came for. So, Denver Broncos family, are you ready for this epic showdown? Do you think our team is finally going to put it all together and show what they're capable of? Or are you worried that the same old problems are going to show up at the worst possible moment? Comment down below what you think, and go ahead and drop that like to strengthen Broncos Country. Share this video with all your friends who bleed orange and blue. Let's show the whole world that the Denver Broncos family is the most passionate in the NFL. Until the next video, and let's get that epic win against the Chiefs. Go Broncos!